YouTube. It is Vader88. Coming at you at this beautiful evening. I think it's September the 1st. And we are actually on our way to do some overtime at work. We're going to work. Boo! But I got a 20-minute ride or so, give or take, so it's like might as well make a video. I said in my last one that one of the last videos of the season I'd like to do was a review on this bike, so I think that's what we're going to do today. And like, full disclaimer, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a technician. I've ridden technically 5 motorcycles since I've started riding, one of those being a 125cc Honda naked bike of some sort for my course. So I don't have a lot of experience with different kinds of bikes. So you can take this review with a grain of salt, and also keep in mind this is not a stock motorcycle. The exhaust has been changed, the air intake has been changed, the windshield has been changed, and the ECU has been flashed by Ivan's Performance. Okay, so it's not a stock machine, it's got a little extra oomph. But when I bought the bike, it was stock, so I can speak on that a little bit, I guess. So, I've had this bike for about 3 years. Sounds right. And, well, this will be my 3rd season with it anyway. And, coming from a 750cc Honda Shadow, this thing was gigantic to me. Now, not so much. It doesn't feel as big. But when I first got it, it felt like a monster of a bike. And so I went from the 750 to a 1300. So all the extra power and all that. And one of my first things right off the bat, so on my Shadow, I had Vance & Hines short shot pipes. They were loud, super loud. And so when I went to take this thing for a ride with the stock exhaust and all that, at first I could not hear myself. I couldn't hear where I was in my gear ranges. It was a new experience to me. Like, I hadn't really, I don't know, felt almost overwhelmed, maybe is the word. But I remember, like, the first ride home after I got it, I was just scared to death. I was scared to turn it, scared to lean it, and like, the fear is still very much there most days, I think. But with anything, like, the more you do it, the easier it becomes usually. But as I got accustomed to the bike, acclimated, I guess, if you will, it became such a easy to maneuver machine, and it was fast. It had all the get up and go that you want. And then the second year of having the bike, I put the exhaust on. I gave it a little bit more punch, and it sounds awesome. And then this year I did the air intake and the ECU flash, and like I've said in previous video, holy cow, like what a difference. The one thing that I was able to do for the first time with this bike is go on the highway, so like on the 401 series, or 400 series I should say. And everyone, I don't know if everyone's afraid of going on the highway, but I imagine like when you're first starting out as a rider, it probably feels kind of daunting, especially when you're flying past the transports and stuff like that, and you're getting all the crosswinds and all that. Once you get used to it though, essentially you're just on a straight road that you can go a little faster on. But this thing kept up, no problem. No problem at all. So yeah, I've grown accustomed to really love this bike. It's to the point where when it comes time to getting something else, which, you know, I'm always thinking about the next bike, I'm always looking, I'm always shopping, but it doesn't mean I'm in a position to actually do anything about it. And with the money that I've put into this bike so far, which really in the scheme of things, compared to like the average stage 1 Harley build, or stage 2 even, is like peanuts compared to what you'd put into a Harley. So I'm still ahead either way. But this thing rides smooth. It's super smooth. I'm in 4th gear, doing probably about 85 kilometers an hour. And like for going back and forth to work, it's perfect. For screaming down back roads, we're going like an all-day back road tour, it's great for that. Some would argue that it's good for crushing miles on the freeway. Me and the wife just did a ride not that long ago. We had to go to a wedding and we took the bikes, and it was 2.5 hours away, 2 hours away, technically right on the button. And it was mostly highway riding, and she rides an 800cc Suzuki Marauder, and I thought for sure we were going to have to go maybe like 105 or whatever, like just over the speed limit, and she was leading, and she was pushing a $120, $125 the whole way, and like I was keeping up to her, but she set a good clip. And so the biggest thing I kind of have to get out of my mind is higher RPMs, like the sound of it doesn't necessarily mean it's running as hard as you think it's running. So this thing ran like a champ on the highway, 2.5 hours, no problem. No problem. So I would say it passed in that respect. But the thing about this bike, it has an aluminum frame as opposed to steel. So this bike should probably be closer to 800 pounds. It's actually like between 650 and 700 pounds. So it's easier to, like if you're backing up or whatever, even like your slow speed stuff. Mind you, I want to talk about, well, yeah, it's a lighter bike, but with the slow speeds being in mind, if you're getting this thing bone stock, okay, you will find that your lower RPMs and lower gears, it's going to feel kind of chuggy, and you're not even going to like going slow speeds because it feels like it's going to stall out on you. I think that's just how Yamaha programmed it. If you do the Ivan's flash for it, it gets rid of all of that, and you're, you know, playing in the friction zone and stuff like that in first gear, doing your slow speed stuff like that. It's like night and day, big difference. So stock, you may not like it at slow speeds, lower RPMs. With the Ivan's flash, anyone who's had it done can attest that it changes a little bit. It gives you a little bit more idle power, I guess, if that's what you want to say. Like I said, I'm not a mechanic, so maybe my terminology is off, but I know there was an improvement after the Flash, and that's all I can really say about that. Excuse me. So it ran good on the highway. It runs awesome on these back roads. Despite its size, this would be considered like a mid-sized touring motorcycle. I would have to agree with that. If I could change something in terms of touring, I would probably get a new seat. I don't know, I think I said that last year or whatever, but the seat maybe, you know, if I plan on having this a couple more years, the seat would probably have to change. It's good for like 6 hours. By 8 hours, you're kind of fidgeting around, and it probably depends on the body type as well. I'm short legs and pretty chubby, so maybe it's a little bit more pressure on my tailbone and whatnot than the average person. But we did a Muskoka trip up into the Muskokas a couple years ago, and I felt like about 7 hours was probably the mark where you're like, okay, it's probably time to park somewhere or whatever. And 8 hours, and I was like standing on my floorboards, like my tailbone hurt so much. So that's the stock seat. But yeah, I do love this bike. The mirrors, you can see everything in your mirrors, like everything. They are fully functional. You can't see your shoulder, you can't, like, they are great mirrors, and I feel like any other bike going forward I will be disappointed with in terms of visibility around me. So there's that. Now the bike does come with the what is it, the Zumo 660, made by Garmin GPS. I've been having issues lately where it just tells me the direction I'm going in. It stopped showing me roads and stuff like that. If this has happened to you and you were able to fix it, please leave me a comment in the or please leave me some help in the comments. I haven't looked into it too hard. Some were saying that maybe you just need to update it, blah blah blah. Stupid me, it came with a whole bunch of accessories and stuff like that when I first got it. I'm like, I'll never need these, and I set them aside, and I have no idea what I did with them. So I have no way to hook it to a computer or anything like that. Yeah, you can order the cord, which I probably will end up doing, but for now it just tells me the direction I'm going, and it tells me my speed. So that's good enough for me. But yeah, in the 3 years that I've had this thing, 2.5, whatever you want to say, I think when I got it, it had 17,000 kilometers on it, and I think we are just under 50,000 now. So we'll say 20,000 plus kilometers of riding, and yeah, I couldn't be happier with this is my second bike ever, and it's going to take me, you know, it's already taken me quite a few places that maybe the 750 wouldn't have. It would have. I never really gave it the chance, I guess, but we have a bike trip coming up in October where we're going to go down south and go do a couple of monumental roads down that way. Tail of the Dragon. We'll see how that goes. I think unless you're a super seasoned rider or you've done it already, and I feel like you would not be wise to not be scared of it. Not that I'm scared that I'm going to crash, but like, look around, look at the videos that I've made so far. There aren't many bendy roads around here, so we'll see. I mean, just have to take it easy. Nothing wrong with that. So if this is like, I don't know if I'd recommend this as like your first bike. Second bike, going up from a like a 750 or an 800 or like a 650 going up to this, people would say that you should maybe do like one step in between. I say bullshit. I think it's totally up to you and how much power you want and your riding capability. I feel like, and like, again, not everyone, but I feel like most people should have an understanding on their own ability and what they want out of a bike. I wanted to be able to go on the highway, and I wanted it to be kind of like a, not like a Swiss Army knife, but a well-rounded machine. It's fun to take through town. You can go on the highway, you can go on all the back roads. It's, you know, you change the oil and you change your tires, and that's pretty much it. I don't reef on this thing quite a bit. Like, I don't, I try and keep it respectable for the most part. So it's, you know, it's all about what you want, I guess. But like, if you wanted to go from a 750 to a 1300, after a couple days of adjustment, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just keep that throttle hand steady and don't be stupid. You'll be alright. And that's the thing, like, even back and forth to work. Excuse me. It's just a straight line. So it's nothing to just kind of cruise, put your feet up maybe. But yeah, I know they don't necessarily make them anymore, but I will never not recommend this bike to somebody who doesn't necessarily want to get a Harley, but wants like a bike that'll do some decent touring, and you can still get parts for it. Although I can see maybe like a parts issue happening in the next 5 years or so. I think the last model they made was a 2017 of these. I'm not sure. I know they're bringing back the V-Star 250, so that's something. What's going on here? So, yeah, like, I can't recommend this bike enough. Yeah, you know, you don't have to do the upgrades. You don't have to do, like, you can leave it bone stock and it'd be fine. You could still get the flash done, and that would be, that would still be beneficial, I would say, if you're especially for like low speeds and stuff like that. But you don't need to put the fancy stuff on it. The stock exhaust had a decent rumble, but it still kind of sounded like an old angry sewing machine kind of thing. So there's that. But yeah. And I know last time I did a review, when I did the review for the Shadow, I alluded to a new bike, and that was this one. That is not the case at this point. This bike I'm going to keep for probably a couple more years at least. The problem is if you're short and you have little legs, it'll fit you perfectly, and that's the that's why I'm going to have a hard time letting this thing go, because like, it literally fits me perfect. Look at that. See? And like, you know, like the big Harleys, they just seem like, they seem massive to me. But yeah. So we're getting into Tilbury. I work in Tilbury. I used to live here, that's what I was kind of born and raised in Tilbury, but yeah. I don't know. Please keep in mind, like, this is all anecdotal. I can only talk about what I know and what I've experienced thus far. So, some of you might not agree with me at all in the slightest. That's totally cool. You want to leave your arguments or comments or what have you in the comments section. I'm always trying to reply as quick as I can. I don't have that many subscribers, so answering comments is fun for me, I guess. So always try and answer any questions, because it's like stuff that people want to know. pretty much it. Very quick this time around. I think my last one was like a half an hour, almost 40 minutes. But yeah, all I can say is if you can find one of these bikes, especially with like the special editions, buy it, because they're rare. You don't see them too often. It's a great second step up. Get used to the bigger style engine, for sure. But yeah, I think that's just about it. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and hopefully I can get one or two more videos out by the time the season's done. Getting that motivational urge, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we will see you guys later. Cheers, guys.